Imagine a city made of kindling. It is the summer of 1666, and London is a suffocating labyrinth of timber, pitch, and thatch. A drought has held the city in a chokehold for 10 months, turning the medieval wooden beams of houses bone dry. The air is thick, not just with the heat, but with the smell of the river and the closeness of 300,000 souls living on top of one another. It is a city waiting to die. On the night of September 2nd, a heavy silence falls over Pudding Lane. In the bakery of Thomas Foreigner, the ovens are finally cooling down, or so he thinks. Foreigner, the king's baker, has gone to bed, believing the fire is out. But deep inside the embers, a single spark refuses to fade. It is a tiny, insignificant thing, no larger than a coin. But fed by a sudden, violent wind rushing in from the east, that single spark is about to rewrite history. At 1 a.m., the smell of smoke wakes the Foreigner household. Panic sets in immediately. They are trapped on the upper floors as the flames devour the stairs. They have no choice but to climb out onto the neighboring roof, scrambling for their lives in the pitch black. They survive, but their maid, paralyzed by fear, does not. She becomes the first victim of a tragedy that is just beginning to breathe. The fire spills out of the bakery and into the street. In 1666, houses leaned toward each other across narrow alleys, effectively creating a bridge for the flames. The fire doesn't just spread, it jumps. It leaps from roof to roof, moving faster than a man can run. Yet the city's leadership sleeps. When the Lord Mayor of London, Thomas Bloodworth, is woken up and shown the distant glow, he looks at it with annoyance. He famously mutters, "A woman might piss it out," and goes back to bed. It was a sentence of arrogance that would doom the city. By morning, the piss-it-out fire has become a firestorm. The strong easterly wind acts like a bellows, pumping oxygen into the heart of the inferno. The sky turns a bruised, apocalyptic orange. The chaos on the streets is absolute. People aren't fighting the fire anymore, they are running from it. The narrow cobblestone streets are clogged with carts, horses, and terrified families trying to save their most precious possessions. We know this terror thanks to Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist. He describes a most horrid, malicious, bloody flame. He watches as pigeons, reluctant to leave their houses, hover about the windows until they burn their wings and fall down. Pepys himself, seeing the fire approaching his home, digs a pit in his garden to bury his Parmesan cheese and his wine, prioritizing the luxuries that define his life even as the world ends around him. The River Thames becomes the only escape route. It is choked with boats, piled high with furniture, crying children, and musical instruments. Those who can't get a boat simply throw their goods into the water and jump in after. The heat is so intense that people on the boats feel the sear of the flames from the banks. London is being erased, street by street, landmark by landmark. By Tuesday, September 4th, the fire meets its greatest adversary, St. Paul's Cathedral. This was the old, medieval cathedral, a massive stone giant that towered over the city. The citizens believed it was invincible. They stacked their books, their cloth, and their furniture inside the church, believing the thick stone walls would protect them. They were wrong. The cathedral was undergoing repairs and was surrounded by wooden scaffolding. The fire climbed the wood like a ladder. The roof, made of acres of lead, began to melt. Witnesses described a horrifying scene where molten lead poured down the streets like a silver river, the pavement glowing red hot. With a deafening roar that shook the earth, the roof collapsed. The stones exploded like grenades. The sanctuary was gone. The heart of London had stopped beating. Finally, on Wednesday, the wind died down. The King's Guard used gunpowder to blow up houses in the fire's path, creating gaps the flames couldn't jump. The roar of the fire was replaced by a ghostly silence. 4/5 of London lay in ashes. 13,000 houses were gone. 87 churches were destroyed. The ground was so hot, it burned the soles of shoes days later. Yet from this devastation, a modern city emerged. The chaotic, disease-ridden medieval Warren was swept away. In its place, the architect Christopher Wren helped design a new London, wider streets, brick buildings, and a new magnificent St. Paul's Cathedral that still stands today. The Great Fire was a tragedy of unimaginable scale, a moment where civilization seemed to crumble under the weight of nature's fury. But it was also a crucible. The fire burned away the plague that had ravaged the city the year before, and it paved the way for London to become the global superpower of the next century. It serves as a reminder that even when our world turns to ash, we build, we survive, and we rise.